I was thinking a lot about this word authenticity and authentic and what that actually mean to fully express yourself. But is there a cost? It's a great idea, right? It could help inspire people to live their dream, inspire people to change their life because it relates to them, to their problems. Because you don't have no choice to do that online, right? So you can inspire other people, but being authentic. If you hate being alone, or you want to be accepted by people, then maybe it's not for you. You have to think about the cost, because there's always a cost and risk to everything that you do, you don't do, that you have to think about a lot. And this there's a great book by an FBI, right? That every time, because I'll be watching people feed, because I want to see what would happen if they want to exit the door or they want to exit somewhere. I just want to see that if it's true, right? Because this book was by a former FBI, right? And FBI know about like body language and the way that people move and stuff like that. I don't want to see it all the time. One time I think I saw a guy just with a feed and exit. But you have to question the cost of authentic. It's like people will say, who cares? I'm going to be authentic. Well, there's many dynamic to people that you might not know. Like when a stranger is easier. A stranger, like if you want to build a relationship, it take over time, right? And it doesn't have right like to build relationship happen over time. Like a book, you don't just read one book over time. You read over and over to get the lesson, to get the meaning. Because if you just read one sentence, you might think you understand the sentence until you read another sentence. You don't read a good book once. Just like you don't see a good friend once. You see them over and over again because you like them, right? Just like my friend, I will see him over and over because I like his personality. See, for me, I show authenticity or authentic, but there's a downside. You have to think of the downside of showing yourself. Because if you show yourself, there are part of people might not accept you, right? They might not. People will say, good, that's not the people for you, but you have to think. We're here to humans are built to get along, to be accepted and loved by other people. That's the reality. Even though people don't want to say it, think about this. All the entrepreneurs, all the weirdos, all the misfits are always with the misfits. They're not like with the average people, are they? As you go up to this chain, right? That people talk about, like, people outgrow people. I understand that people aren't, but there's downside, right? To build relationship, it's slow, and it build up from there. It's not instantaneously, because if you do that, you lose that person, or you end up scaring them because their brain alert them, because they don't have trust with you yet. You don't have rapport with you yet, and so you can't be open with that. Because I try many different facets to see which one works and which doesn't. Usually people who are okay with you because you have spent time with them, like you spent energy, time, you get to know each other like well, and you're okay with that, you're comfortable. But other people, you don't have that bond, that rapport, that trust that you built together. It took me a while. Like, I was open with my friend when I started meeting him. Well, actually, he, when I was on the table, had my Yu-Gi-Oh card, and I was about to text, and he saw me have Yu-Gi-Oh card. Good thing he said something. He was pretty cool. We were talking, and he was into Yu-Gi-Oh. I was like, man, in my brain, I was like, whoa, this is weird. Like, not weird, but like, it's new. Like everything new is weird, but then you become comfortable, right? In the book, The Psychology of Influence or something, they call it commitment consistency. You don't want, if you do everything fast, right? And you try to get into a relationship really fast, people get scared. People don't, because their brain alert their amygdala. That's where the center of fear go beep beep beep, and then you say back away, danger, danger. And you don't want to deal with that. That's the problem with authentic, because it can scare off people, and you have to be able to slowly over time to do it, because people are people. People have many different side of them. They want to hide other things they don't want to tell you. But see, for me, I wanted to show my friend that the thing is, a true friend, a friend with not a. There's a difference between, because I saw a tweet before. Should you bite your tongue if you don't want to lose your friend or coworker or a colleague? The true people who care about you, it's like your family. If they care about you, they'll stick around no matter what. They'll support you. But if a true friend, if you've done something so bad, and if you never stuck up for yourself, you don't know how to communicate, because what was it? There was a book say that women care more about relationship, right? You know, there's a what was it? Laugh Your Way to Marriage, right? By Mark Kunger. Men and women brain are wired very differently. They don't see the world. Both men and women don't see the world the same. They see it very vastly different. Men are wired to solve problems, right? While women are like very emotional, and then they talk, they communicate, right? People don't understand that, and so that's why men solve problem. They try to solve. Back then, when my ex, before we ever broke up, I was trying to, instead of, because there are times when people want to need you just to listen. That's it, right? Just to listen. You don't need to. Most people try to fix things, but they don't understand. They just want to be heard and listened to and be cared for. That's it. It's support. But people try, because men have this complicated shit that they need to fix everything. So the outcome, I remember my ex now, all she wanted was just to listen, right? Because she said she don't want to be here anymore. Let's say I was like, do this, I try to encourage her to stay there, and she said, don't tell me what to do. And that hurt me, because I was like, wait, I care for so much for you. Why would you say this? And I got mad, and I was like, I hung up. No. And that caused a lot of problem. But they just want to be listened to, right? And so it's like you have to slowly commit to people. You have to let people to slowly commit to you. Now, people say bite their tongue. They don't know how to communicate. If a person like me, right? If I don't tell you and I bottle that shit up, the emotion, I will explode, right? Because all my life I bottle things up in my inside, and I tend to explode. And if I don't tell you, if I have too much, and if I don't tell you right away, it will bottle up. That's a bad thing. Most people do, right? They bite their tongue. Most people are afraid to tell what their managers say, their boss say, because they're afraid that they'll get fired. They're afraid, right, to stand up to what they think that is right. But they bite it so they don't want to lose. But a real friend, even if you say it, they would understand, and they care for you. They have empathy, right? Because if you don't communicate, how the hell do they know? Right? Think about this. If I don't communicate through a video or something, how do you know? Right? People are not mind readers. Because I disagree with biting the tongue, because I hear all the time. So I bite the tongue when the manager said, no, you need to hear that. Sometimes managers aren't right. They don't know how to communicate, right? So let me tell you a story. When I was in boarding school or trade school, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. And at that time, we were in Washington. It was a dorm, right? Washington B. And my friend, right? My friend, he was sitting on the couch, and my Spanish friend. So he called himself Twilight, right? And then we could call him Twilight, Oreos, whatever. And he was about to get kicked out, and if he didn't do the chore or something in the dorm, like he's supposed to, and we got mad at him because we were concerned that he's gonna get kicked out, and we won't be able to see him again, right? So, and me and my Spanish friend keep nagging him and telling him, "Do it, man, or you're gonna get kicked out." Because I was afraid of losing him, not seeing him again, because we care for him. So we didn't bite our tongue. If we didn't do that, if we didn't nag or tell him to do that, we lose a friend. We lose seeing him. We lose being around him. You shouldn't bite your tongue. You should explain. You should communicate. That's the bad thing about biting your tongue. Say it, right? It's just that it's even though people say things, it's okay, right? It's okay. You're not gonna die. You're not, unless you go. You're not gonna die. You deal with it, even if it hurts. You deal with it. So there's a cost. Commitment, consistency is a bias, right? They said there's a psychology of influence that you have to slowly influence the people over time. Like a good book, like a friend. You don't see your friend once in a while. Over time you commit to your friend, right? They get to know you, know who you are, get to show you the weird side. But there's a cost for being authentic. People might tear you down. People might not accept your love. People might not accept you. People not even like you, right? Because I know. When you're weird, when you're odd, when you're different, people are not like that. People might say, dude, don't get near me. You're weird. Go away. You have to deal with that. Unless you can change and learn how to understand people better, understand the situation, how you're going to deal with people from then on. Because it's a skill set. Because I tried many different ways to see which one does, or with people, whether strangers or co-worker or whatever. They don't, because people, they get comfortable. They want to know the same people over and over. I just want to know what type of people they are, because I'm interested. Life, people talk about experience. Yeah, life is about experience and using what we know. But you want to test the idea, the whatever they say. The problem with spirituality and self-help stuff, they say authentic, right? Live authentic life. But people who are average, people who are most people, they don't do that. They're scared. You have to know about the brain. And you have to know what trigger it. And slowly you have to build that up. That's pretty much all I'm going to say. I'll see you guys next time.